You don't actually have the standards you think you have. I know because I watched myself when I was on vacation. I see what happened when I was at the parties. And I noticed the difference between my January self and my August self. And here's what I've learned. Your standard is not what you do when you're motivated. It's what you do when you're not. My name is Rowan Wiechmann, owner of the Order of the Pure Man. And in this YouTube series, I'm teaching you exactly to go from good to great across every single realm of life. Because if you are here, you're a man who's not tolerating just good, who's not just wanting to be above average. You are here because you want to be a leader who's leading true excellence. And the topic of standards is something that speaks to my heart, especially now that I'm back from my trip in Rome, where I visited wedding locations together with my girlfriend, my fiance. And during those trips, I always learned so much about myself, about my standards, about the relationship, about my health. Like every single realm of life is all being touched. And in this trip specifically, I learned a lot about the standards. You see, the standard you have is something you have 24/7. And what I did in the past and what I see with a lot of men is, especially when they are tolerating good, is that we have a certain standard when we're at home in our safe space, and we have a certain standard when we are traveling or abroad or a different situation. And what I start to see is that most men's standards are being exposed on holidays, in parties, or just being in a different situation than they are used to in their own safe environment. And one of the things that I started to see, especially with myself in the past, is that when I was on holidays, I started to quit my routines. I just went through the motions, like going through the motions, checking my phone more often, and honestly, not doing a lot of things that were actually working at home. Like following the routines, working out, taking the steps, all these good things. Or for example, on a party, like drinking alcohol more than I wanted to, cheating, taking drugs, all these things. Like all these things, like spending my money, all these stupid things that I didn't do before, I then all catched up with these bad habits on holidays. And what I started to learn in the last couple of years is that when you're not carrying the standard you have during the weeks, you're not really carrying your standard at all. And you see, if you have a standard that's only carrying or only being carried in perfect conditions, like me working in the office right now and everything is set up perfectly, it's fucking easy to carry these standards. Or at home, or not going to a party so you avoid not drinking, like all these simple things, like creating perfect conditions, that's a weak standard. Or if you only have a high standard when other people are looking at you, so you feel a little bit external pressure, you want to prove yourself. It could be pushing more weight in the gym. It could be trying to run more in a triathlon or another game, whatever. It's all external pressure. Or fear/anxiety. When you feel fear, let's say the bank account is low, now you feel a lot of fear, and now for some reason you start to do all these things that you know you should have been doing already for a couple of months, but now you're almost being broke, and now all of a sudden you start to do these things. Or you choose that one thing that's going to bring your standard to the next level. Because most men need fear, anxiety to actually motivate themselves. But the greatest on earth, they are not motivated by fear, they are motivated by love. Love on the highest level. Love to explore yourself, to expand yourself, to be a man who's elite across every single realm of life. Because only from that place, you can actually create godly results. So if you right now still only have high standards and perfect conditions, or external pressure, or only based on fear and lack, you're still carrying good standards, but not great. You're still tolerating good while you crave great. And that brings me to the next point. If you want to be an elite man, which I want to be, that's like my life's mission, that's my purpose on earth, like becoming the most elite possibly, becoming the most elite man I possibly can. And again, if you're here, like I said at the beginning, you're probably someone like that too. Someone who doesn't tolerate bullshit, who just wants to get most out of life. Feeling alive, being alive, striving for every single bit of potential. So a good standard is just sleeping in the holidays while going all fucking in during the week when you're working. A good standard is still walking during your trips, but not working out. A good standard is tolerating drinking while when you're at home, you're not drinking at all. And I'm not saying that drinking alcohol is bad, but you know that you are mostly on holidays, like spending more money on alcohol, you're drinking so much more than you want to, and you feel really shit and bad when you get back. While great standards are just continuing not drinking or just choosing a couple of drinks, just a little bit more than you used to, but not going so crazy that you have headaches for days. A good standard in your relationship could be having a good time together, right? Just spending some time, but still being disconnected, having some sex, but still being a little bit disconnected, still scrolling a lot, still wasting your time and your energy, versus being fully connected, phone away, and just being with each other, having deep, meaningful connections, having deep conversations, asking her how she's feeling, being super curious, always learning more about her. That's a great standard. Or in the business, that you either not work at all during a trip or make sure that your team members are doing the work for you, versus you have to work on your trip. You feel a lot of guilt and shame that you're not working as much as you used to at home. So you're still working a little bit on your trip, but still, when you're not working at all, you're still working here, which is then holding back that deep connection you can have with your girlfriend. So a lot of good versus great standards that are holding you back from being a great man. So if you're still here and you think, I don't want to tolerate this good anymore, I want to be great, I am winning in business, but I don't feel like winning in business because I'm losing as being a man, it's time to evaluate your standard. How is your standard looking like right now? And where are you tolerating good while it can be great? Where are you still tolerating good enough in your standards across your body, your business, your relationships, while it can be great? So if you did that and you start to see some things, just take action. And if you're someone who wants to take action with way more speed, that's exactly what I do. If you're someone who knows there is so much more to do, but for some reason you cannot do it, I just want to invite you to a very simple conversation. In this conversation, we're going to take a look at your body, your business, your relationships, and we're going to take a look at the blind spots holding you back from being a great man, holding you back from winning at being a fucking man. It's that simple. When we see the blind spots, we then are going to take a look at, okay, what's going to be necessary in order to get from good in being a man to fucking great. From being an okay leader, a leader on paper, to being a leader who's leading by example. Yes, business might be the entry point, but at the end of the day, you want to be a leader across all realms of life. You want to be seen as someone who is worth following. And if that's you and you're done playing small, just click on the link down below and book in a call. In this deep dive, I already told you what we're going to do. And from that place, you are finally going to see what's necessary. Because I've been there too. I've been carrying low standards for too fucking long. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm done tolerating this in myself, tolerating this in you. And if you're still here and you don't give a shit about it, bro, please go somewhere else. Because then this place is not for you.